Hi everyone, welcome back or welcome to another episode of Life with Marianne and Joe and our Christmas 2022 series. If you caught my last video, you know I did some decorating on the chandelier in the dining room, and when I was finished with it, I wasn't crazy with the outcome, and therefore I wound up taking it down. And it's not that it was bad, it just wasn't what I thought it was going to be. So I took it down and I'm starting from scratch. But what I'm going to be doing in today's video is to clear my mind a little bit. I'm shifting over to the China hutch, or China closet, whatever you want to call it, first, so that I can get my sense of decor and get this thing moving. Okay, so after the chandelier fiasco, I don't know if you caught that video, take a look at it. I'm switching gears away from the chandelier, and I'm going to start in the china closet like I usually do, and I'm going to start up on the top. And again, I am going to try my best to down it from my overloading that I usually do. Hopefully it'll work. We'll see. The first thing I did was remove the two center doors. Next, I put garland, but not in my usual way. I did it in an arch fashion so that it looks a little bit different than usual. All right, so I'm going to put lights in this garland section right here. I'm going to string 100 mini lights through here. I came back through the back, and remember, I always divide it by the 50 mark so that I don't overload one side. So I count to 50, and then I start in the middle, and then I go back down on the one side, and then I'll go to the end of the other side and then work my way up, trying to distribute the lights the best I can. If you want it to look more mystical looking, don't go wrapping them like, in circles, because that just kind of makes things look odd. So what you want to do is a zigzag pattern where you go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and you use the little branches on the garland to kind of lock it in place, and try to hide the wires as much as possible, because that, for me anyway, it takes away from the fantasy look, because it's supposed to look like this magical, mystical thing, and then if you see all these wires all over the place, it just kind of looks like a construction zone. So are lights a pain? Oh yeah, they are, but they do make things look beautiful. Next in is, you've seen them, it's the lights that we got from Costco a while back. They are beautiful, they're crystal, and they are white. All right, I'm going to use a combination of these ficus leaves, which are I just put glitter on these. I didn't paint them, so it looks more natural. Then I'm going to use some of these snowy stems in there as well. And I'm also going to use some of these icy stems. I'm going to mix them together. So those are the three elements that I'm going to use in that garland around the door to the china closet. All right, so I intertwined those leaves in there, and I tried to bring the garland forward and push those in at the same time. So actually, this is one of the best things that I did by making these ficus leaves, and I made them in a few different ways. Like, if you know me, I have some of them are white, some of them are just like these, some of them are they're all a little bit different, but they act as great fillers and picks. So if you have an old ficus tree that you no longer want or anything, just take it apart and you can do this too. It's simple process, and you'll just use them over and over and over in many different vignettes and scenarios. So next in will be the snowy branches, and I did invest in these this year. I think I bought maybe 12 of them. I saw them and I bought them. So this is one thing that I bought. Dollar Tree stuff. I used 10 of these picks. I had 10 of them. So you can see I kind of like intertwined them in there. I brought some of the garland forward, the leaves, and I tried to like intermingle it together so that it looked more organic looking. The worst thing you can do is just like, layer, but you just keep layering on top of each other and hiding what you put in the back. So the trick is to kind of like just keep bringing everything and mingling it together in an organic fashion. Okay, so next I'm going to put in these branches, same kind of branches, but with these crystal little rocks on them to give it an icy look. And I'm going to hold back on these. I'm going to put these in sparingly. All right, so next what I did was I went in and I put this buffalo snow in, and it's like a big puffy cotton ball for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about. It comes in a bag, and you just pull it apart and you lay it in and try to think about how snow falls. And for those of you that live in a tropical place and you don't know how snow falls, when it comes down, it kind of like falls into the middle of the trees and stuff, and it just like starts piling up in there, because a lot of times it'll fall off the branches unless it's a little bit icier. So that's what I chose to do. I chose to put it more on the inside like that, and then what I had to do is go back again and put a few more of the ficus leaves in, because I didn't want it to be, so prominent and look like these, like cotton balls sticking in this thing. So always keep in mind, it's a weird thing, because like for me, I want it to look natural, yet with a touch of fantasy. And, the general people, not like you guys that are watching, but in general, people, they don't look at things like that. They just look at things like a total picture. They don't go in and think, oh, how many layers is on there? Like those of us that build these things, we're like thinking, oh, there's so many layers and so much texture and stuff like that. I guarantee you, people don't think that kind of stuff. They look at it and they're like, oh yeah, that looks good, or oh yeah, that looks real, or oh, that looks just like winter, or something like that. So it's up to you to create that fantasy through how you put your picks and stuff together. Okay, after sitting and staring at it for a good 5 minutes, I decided to add in these beautiful pine cones that I put a slight little bit of glittery ice on, just to make them look like they have a touch of ice on them. And I think it's just what it needed. All right, I'm going to start putting stuff in the China Hutch, and I'm actually going to use these large snowflakes as a charger behind the china. And I'm going to use this china. It's not Christmas, but it's silver and it's white, and that's what I want. So see, I put the snowflake behind it as you would put a charger. Next in are these Lenox pieces here, the pitcher and the cup and the teapot. That might be Spode, that teapot. I'm not sure. I think it is. But those, I put those on the middle shelf. Down on the bottom shelf, I put the soup tureen, and then I put a piece of pine with some of those frosty branches, those three white ornaments there to look like white berries, and I completed that scenario on the bottom level. Top shelf, I put this beautiful wine decanter, and it has a frosted handle, and the glasses have a frosted flute. And for that fantasy look, a little bit of pine with some pine cones. And here is the sides, what I did, that icy looking candle holder and so on. And I think it came out pretty good. I'm happy with it, and I'm going to call that a day for that china closet. So here's how I solved the chandelier problem. I just suspended the snowflakes with the fishing line, and also some crystals with some big icy drops and big snowflakes up on the top as well. So I think it gives a really nice cohesive look all together, the chandelier with the china hutch. And of course, next up will be the tree, and it's going to complete that look in there. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. Bye-bye. Take care.